I have an important message for female songwriters and aspiring producers who have been wanting to or trying to record their music, but feel stuck because the quality just doesn't sound professional or ready to release. So, today we're going to talk about four very simple steps that will completely transform your vocal mixing and empower you to turn your demos into release ready tracks. We're going to get into basic mixing theory and learn how to build a vocal chain in Logic. And what we learned today, you can apply to your DAW of choice, okay? We're going to talk about using EQ and compression to boost your vocals without even touching the volume, and how to use vocal effects to cater to different styles or genres and really dial in your authentic sound. So, if you're a songwriter who has already recorded demos on your own, but you're just not satisfied with the quality of production, or you feel intimidated by the DAW and just it's too technical, it's too much, or if you've been trying to produce for a while and you really just want to improve these demos so you can pass them off to another mixing engineer, this is also going to enable you to take control of your sound so they have a clear reference of what you want, right? If you're tired of paying someone else to finish your music and you are ready to take control of your sound, this training is for you. But if you're a person who allows fear to keep you from learning new skills, you might want to keep scrolling, right? If you haven't even tried to record a demo yet, you might want to take a few steps back and start with the basics. If you're a songwriter and you're not ready to put in the time and effort to develop this skill, you get out what you put in. So if you already think that your music is perfect and it just needs the right promotion, right, you might want to also keep scrolling and find yourself a publicist. So before I started producing myself, I had spent over $100,000 paying somebody else to do it for me. And even when I was paying for productions and mixes, I was still waiting 6 months to get that mix back, right? It kept me stuck and waiting, and I never actually finished or released any of my music. My life became a non-ending existential crisis, and I just stayed blocked because I didn't have the confidence to release my music. I was always searching to find my voice and my authentic sound. Now that I'm producing myself, I am making more music than ever. I am finishing and releasing my own productions. It has opened up doors and opportunities for more commissions, more features, sync, placements, money, baby. We're talking about income from my music, right? I've developed the confidence so when I'm still working and collaborating with other producers, I can be a leader in those sessions, right? It's amplified my live performance. I can communicate with the sound engineer to really achieve exactly what I want on stage. And ultimately, I'm spending less, making more, I'm touring internationally. And when I'm not on tour, I get to live and create from my home studio in paradise. I'm surfing every day and I'm grateful. So let's get into it. Let's talk about mixing theory. I always like to think of it as a three-lane highway, right? The left lane, you have your low frequency instruments. In the middle, you have the mids, that's your voice, synths, guitars, etc. And on the right lane, you have your high frequency instruments. Mixing theory is all about eliminating the frequencies that you don't need and amplifying the frequencies that you're going to use so each instrument can stay in their lane. So let's talk about the four key elements that you need to obtain your perfect mix and stay in your lane, right? So step one is subtractive EQ. We are going to eliminate the low end frequencies, right? Those create mud and any other points where you might hear abrasion or distortion. We're going to cut out those frequencies that we don't need. And step two is the de-esser, right? We're going to continue with subtractive compression. And the de-esser is going to help eliminate the pops and plosives and high frequency sounds that are also going to be messy in the mix, right? Once we've eliminated the frequencies that we don't need and that create a mess in the mix, we're going to boost the frequencies that you want to hear, right? I'm an alto, so my voice sparkles at 5.5K. And I also want to amplify some of those rich and lower, warmer tones of my voice so I can really have that full sound. Step four is compression, okay? So compression is going to squeeze the wave file and basically bring down the levels that are too high and boost levels that are too low so that you have a more consistent and polished sound. Once you have those four elements in your vocal chain, you can continue to add other audio effects like reverb, delay. If you're a rock singer, maybe you want more chorus or saturation or distortion to get the sound and the style of the vocal that you want. right? If you're more of a pop singer and you have a lot of vocal harmonies, if you have a lot of vocal background vocals in the track, um, utilizing group tracks and some stacks in the DAW and applying your vocal chain and the desired effects to that group track is going to be a game changer. It's going to save your computer a ton of processing power. It's also going to allow you to have a more consistent mix to all those vocal harmonies. So I want to talk about some women that I've been working with and celebrate their wins, okay? Leopatra came to me. She was working on her first studio album, paying her engineers $1,500 per track. And now, within 90 days, she has written, produced, mixed, mastered, and released her first Ableton production. You should check it out. It's called All the Baddies. It's on all the DSPs. And now she's at the point where she's releasing a song a week. She's kicking ass and regularly releasing new music, and it sounds great. Another client who I want to celebrate is Askaya. She came to me relying 100% on AI to produce and perform her music. And within 90 days, she gained the confidence not only in her singing voice, but in her production skills. And she recorded 9 songs, mixed, mastered, and released her first album 2 weeks later, right? And she's still consistently writing and sharing new music. Okay, so how do we get there? Let's talk about the best practices that will help us get our quickest wins in music production, right? And building confidence as a music producer. So let's remember our basic mixing theory. The goal is to stay in your lane. Another really important thing to remember is clean input means clean output. If your input gain is too high or too low, don't even try to mix your vocals. You got to get a clean take before we can start to mix, okay? Save your presets. This will save you time. Once you build your vocal chain, save it as a preset. And then anytime you're creating or mixing, those 50 clicks that took you to build it turn into one. Okay. Same thing goes when you have a session that really works with your workflow. Save that as a template. So every time you go in and create, you can just pull up your template. Remember to take breaks and use fresh ears. There is such thing as mixing fatigue. Go and make sure to reference your mix by listening to similar recordings, and also listen on multiple speakers, right? Listen to your mix on multiple speakers, reference the same tracks on multiple speakers, and really try to pinpoint what is working and what is not working, and make the shifts that need to be made to dial in your mix. And most importantly, have fun. Okay, making music is so much fun to do. The process of mixing can be a little bit dense and overwhelming, but if we enjoy the process, it just makes it that much better. So let's talk about beginner mistakes to avoid, right? So we can just fast forward straight to our professional sound. Overusing reverb can create a lot of mud and reflections in the mix that we don't really need. Also, compressing too hard, it can crush the dynamics, and you lose a little bit of the subtleties and nuances in your voice if it's too compressed, right? If you have too much high end, it can lead to harshness that you don't want to hear. Same thing if you don't clean up the breaths or the plosives, those are the pops and snaps and lip smacks that come with certain consonants, right? Or noise in the background. Make sure you clean up as you go, right? And if you're someone that relies on the presets in the DAW, but you're not listening critically, you still might not be able to achieve the sound you want. So if you apply these 4 steps that we just talked about, that's going to allow you to have your own presets that cater to your voice and your music. So, we are talking about DIY production, right? You are going to do it yourself, but that does not mean you have to suffer alone. You don't have to spend years. I had a 6-year learning curve when I learned Ableton, and I was suffering until I finally got help, right? You can get real support and expert guidance and accountability that will allow you to cut your learning time by 70%, right? Not only develop the skills, but the confidence to start sharing your music. So I feel very lucky that for the past year, I've been able to work with numerous women through the Songwriter to Producer Accelerator and just empower them to dial in their affordable home studio and build real skills and confidence to produce their music, right? In SPA, we also develop mindset and best practices to tap into flow anytime so you can crush your creative blocks and record music like it's flipping a switch, right? Most importantly, you can have real support that leads to real progress. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, I would love to hop on a call with you and we can chat in depth about your music and build a custom roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I have a few spaces available, so I would love to hop on a call with you. And what you can expect is, we're going to talk in depth. I'll have a few questions prepared that will help me get a clear idea of where you are exactly with your music, what you're struggling with when it comes to music production and mixing, and what you need the most support with so that we can get you from where you are to where you want to be. So if you're a songwriter that has a ton of beautiful songs and amazing ideas, but the only place they live is in your mind or in your notebook or in your voice notes app, let's hop on a call and let's really dial in your custom roadmap to get you from where you are to where you want to be so you can be consistently recording and releasing music that you're proud of. I can't wait to dive in with you and tap in with you. So click that link below, book your call, and I will see you really soon. Peace.